What a beautiful morning. It's cold. These gloves are like a lifesaver. These babies are kind of like dishwashing gloves with a liner. So when it's foggy or wet or cold, they're just as warm as mittens almost. Mount Adams. Today we're going to talk about these Showa gloves. It doesn't really matter if you're hiking in the mountains, the desert like here in Arizona's Superstitions, or along a coastal beach, which is where we're headed in a minute. Unless you're a glutton for punishment, you should be carrying some kind of hand protection. You know, if you want to be color coordinated, this might not be the option for you. But as an example, here in the Superstitions, it's usually hard to find water, but this week, Christmas week, it's been raining, wet, windy every day. I've had these things on all day, every day, and I'm glad to have them. A lot of people think of the desert as hot, which it is, but the desert gives up its heat every night when that sun goes down. So you wake up in the morning, you're glad to have something warm on your hands, especially, you know, if you're using poles. You'll park these things in your pack if you don't have something on your hands, because it's just too cold to hike with them in the morning. Till that sun starts flying in the morning, just about everywhere, you're going to want some kind of hand protection. And I've tried a lot of things, but I kind of settled on these. Today we're going to talk about these Showa gloves that I use backpacking. So let's take a hike along the Pacific coast on the Pacific Northwest Trail. This trail section will almost guarantee you wet and cold in the form of rain, fog, waves, even damp vegetation. Over the years, I've carried down mitts, wool gloves, work gloves, mitten rain covers, you name it. Nothing seemed to work as well as these. They actually solve multiple problems. They've got great flexibility. That means I can pack up all my gear, pack it away on cold, wet mornings without taking them off to deal with items that would usually need my bare fingers to deal with. They're 100% waterproof with an acrylic insulation. And that basically means they're as warm as any other hand covering I've tried. Do my hands still suffer a bit in cold weather? Yes. But that probably has more to do with old man circulation than cold man circulation. If you need to get a grip, these gloves give you that option too. Here I'm using them on wet rope climbing a headland to avoid high tide. I've also used them to climb Half Dome early in the spring when the steps aren't assembled yet and you have to use the steel cables to climb. They don't take up much room. I keep them stuffed in the trunk of my pack so I can grab them in a hurry when I need them. A lot of people ask me, how do you get drinking water hiking this section of beach? You know, it's bordered by the Earth's largest and deepest body of salt water. As the ancient mariner used to say, water, water everywhere, not a drop to drink. But not so really here. You can see there are freshwater streams, seeps running to the sea all along the coast, so it's pretty easy to get water. It's not a difficult trail, great scenery, lots of critters. You just have to deal with the damp. Even when you leave the beach, you head straight into a rainforest, so think of this section as getting acclimated. Let me introduce you to a few more sights and sounds you'll encounter along this diverse section of solitude. This is what you call a Pacific Northwest yard sale. Get your flotsam and jetsam. It's a beach landfill, I guess. Everything from around the world washes up on ocean beaches. Mostly plastic, fishing, floats, tires, you name it, rope. Here we go again. If you want to take a rope climbing course, this is probably the trail you want to do, because there's as much rope climbing as beach walking. But it's better than swimming, right? Not much out here but orcas and eagles, seagulls and seals. It's all beach walking, but when you come to these headlands and the tide's high, then you have to rope climb up to the top and over because you can't get around. This is Toliak Beach on the Pacific Northwest Trail on the Olympic coast. Sun finally popped out for 10 minutes. It's usually foggy and wet, a lot different than hiking in the Southwest all winter, trying to find water. Now I'm trying to get away from it. I'll leave you today with some of the sights and sounds of this 40-mile coastal environment along the Pacific Northwest Trail. Keep smiling. This guy's waiting for the tide to come back in.